Hello, thank you for being here today. I'm Carla Greenan with 3B Coaching, and I'm excited to have a previous colleague and friend and nutrition coach here with me today, Mukta Gadkari, and she is going to tell us more about some low stress snacks for energy and helping working parents come up with ways to feed themselves and fuel themselves during the day. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Mukta. And hey, Kim.
Hi. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties, but I'm here now.
No problem. And just to let you know, we're recording. So I'm going to pass it over to Mukta.
Awesome.
Thank you, Carla, and hi. Um, I am going to just quickly pull up my screen, and then here is what we're going to be talking about today, low stress snacks for energy. I am thrilled to be here. Carla and I go back a long ways, I think back to 2008. And I've always, loved our interactions and in coaching, whether we're talking about nutrition, what have you. So I'm excited to be here with her community. So when Carla asked me to do this, I knew we had very little time. And so I have kind of put this together in a way that is hopefully digestible, but that gives room for lots of questions as well. But I'm going to try to keep this to 15 minutes. And if you have questions, please feel free to stop me, or we can take them at the end. So just very quickly about me, I'm a board certified holistic nutritionist and mindful eating coach based in the San Jose area. I focus on, I work with clients on gut health issues, blood sugar balance, stress management, slowing down, mindful eating, and helping them develop a healthier and happier relationship with their food as well as with their bodies. So this is very connected to what we're talking about today. So let's just quickly go through the agenda and what you will expect to cover. So we're going to quickly talk about why snacking is important. Basically, why are we here? Why are we talking about this? Then I'm going to give you some examples of low stress snacks. And these are the ones that I normally will turn to. Kind of disregard the photo. They're not all in this photo. And then we are going to quickly go over a shopping list, because I figured, I can give you all the examples in the world, but for you to be able to implement, you needed something to take with you. And so a shopping list will be helpful for you to go and get ready with your snacks. So let's talk about why we are here. Okay, so first and foremost, this is all about steady blood sugar. Blood sugar, stress, energy are all interconnected. And the things that you need to know about stress and blood sugar is that when you're stressed out, your blood sugar always rises. And that's because your body is suddenly, needs that flood of energy and will basically take all the sugar from your cells and like the storages and reserves in order to act, in order to address the stressor, in order to fight, in order to flee. So stress is always connected with high blood sugar. Okay. Now, unfortunately, when we're stressed, we're often indecisive. We don't want to eat, we want to just take care of business. But what happens with that is that skipping meals will contribute to blood sugar imbalances. So it's going to put you on that blood sugar roller coaster in the short term. And in the long term, it can lead to things like being diagnosed with prediabetes, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, all of those things. So, we really want to keep food front and center when we are stressed and when we're running around, but also what you snack on matters. So let's think about what we generally reach for when we are stressed. Could be a cookie, it could be a bagel, it could be a piece of toast, a piece of toast with a little bit of jam or some cereal. All of those things yes, they're giving you some fuel, but they're not giving you the nutrients you need in order to steady your blood sugar. They're not giving you the satisfaction and the fullness to keep you fuller longer. Okay, so I'm going to just go right in there and say it. What we need to do for snacking is to prioritize protein and fats. And I'm going to give you some examples of what that looks like. But generally, what protein and fats do, and that's not to say that carbs are not important, because they're extremely important. But carbs tend to be such a big part of our snacking kind of repertoire in general that we that we tend to focus more on the carbs and less on the protein and fats. So what I'm having you kind of think about is shifting your focus from things that are carby, things that have fiber, to things that have protein and fats. And here's why. Number one, they steady blood sugar. So they provide a buffer for your body. When you eat any kind of food, your blood sugar immediately rises. But when you have foods that are rich in protein and fats, the blood sugar kind of goes in really slowly and steadily. Rather than doing this, it just goes in really steady. So you're kind of looking for steady, okay? And protein and fats give you that general buffer. They soften the blow, if you will. Protein and fats also give you mental focus and energy. Fats will provide energy for your brain. They basically feed your brain. And then the other thing with protein is that they provide your neurotransmitters, your nerve signaling cells, with the amino acids so that your brain can communicate with the rest of your body. So you may notice, and I want you to kind of play with this, notice how it feels when you're really, really stressed and you choose something that's rich in protein versus choosing something that's carby. You might notice that you immediately feel focused and like you can think again and maybe less irritable. So play with that. But protein and fats also keep you satiated for hours and help prevent and curb sweet cravings. So once again, if you've noticed yourself reaching for like a cookie or a chocolate bar, there's nothing wrong with that. Just kind of ask yourself, like, do I really want this right now? Or should I kind of nourish myself with something that's rich in protein and fats first, and then see how I feel, and if I still want the cookie or if I still want the chocolate bar. That's my my strategy. It works. See if it works for you. All right, so let's talk about what some examples are of protein. These are just examples of protein. We're going to go more into like what that might look like as a snack. But animal protein, egg whites are really rich in protein. Chicken, turkey, duck, wild game, beef, pork, venison, fish and seafood, any kind of dairy, especially Greek yogurt, is very, very rich in protein, and cheese. Cottage cheese is also in there. And then you have plant protein, tofu, tempeh, soybeans, beans, lentils, legumes, nuts and seeds, as well as nut and seed butter. And then I've got a few other things down there, like protein powder, spirulina, which is like an algae, and then nutritional yeast, which is, we'll talk about nutritional yeast in the questions if you have them later. Okay, but we're going to move on. So examples of fats, we've got animal fats. So I've put egg yolk in there because sometimes people are like, well, I ate the egg, but I only had the yolk, or I ate the egg, but I only had the whites. Well, you kind of have to eat the whole thing to make sure you're getting like all the benefits that an egg can give you. And egg yolks are really rich in not just fats, but like the, extremely important nutrients for stress. So I would say do not throw the yolk away, just eat it. Beef is an example, wild fatty fish, things like salmon, sardines, anchovies, mackerel, herring. Dairy, always choose full fat because you're getting all those fat soluble nutrients in there that are really necessary for your body, for your hormones, for your cells, for your brain, all of those things. And then we have avocados. So in plant-based fats, we have avocado, olives, coconut, nuts and seeds. Those are kind of the main ones that I'm thinking of off the top of my head. Okay, so let's see how that might translate into snacks. what I've done is basically choose a category and kind of give you, what I would do in terms of snacking, like really quickly versus like next level. Okay, so here's an example. So let's take nuts and seeds. From a quick hit perspective, like if you went and bought nuts, right? An example of a really good snack would be like 6 to 10 almonds, walnuts, cashews, 6 Brazil nuts. I had to be very specific there because Brazil nuts are really high in selenium. And if you, it is possible to overdose on selenium. So if you love Brazil nuts, try to keep it to like 6 a day. 2 tablespoons of any nut butter. Peanut butter is definitely has more protein than other nut butters, but almond butter also does have protein in it. You'll have to look at the label to see how much you're getting. Then taking in a next step, 2 tablespoons of any nut butter on toast, and then add some hemp seeds. They're also called hemp hearts. Hemp hearts will add a little bit of extra protein and add an extra bit of fats. Another quick hit, a handful of trail mix, especially if it's got mostly nuts and seeds in it. Dried fruits are fine. So is a little bit of dark chocolate. No one's going to complain with that. But you do want to make sure that it's mostly nuts and seeds with a little bit here and there, a scattering of dried fruit. Because again, what's going to happen, dried fruits are really, really concentrated in sugar. And you don't want that to kind of cancel out the buffer that we talked about earlier. If you wanted to take this to the next level, you could make homemade energy balls. You can even buy them, but they're super easy to make if you have a food processor. Usually I use nut seeds. I kind of bind them with dates, but you can bind them with nut butter or seed butter, something like a tahini or sunflower butter can also work as a binding agent. I like to add coconuts to it. I actually have a couple of recipes on my blog if you're interested in homemade energy balls. Chia pudding is another one. We think about it as an overnight thing, but chia pudding really needs about 20 minutes to set. So if you've got the liquid, which, could be something like a nut milk, it could be normal milk. You could even use yogurt as kind of yogurt with a little bit of water. And chia pudding, you just kind of set it with like 20 minutes. You might add a little bit of a sweetener, and it's going to give you the protein. It's going to give you the fats, that general satiety that you need. It's going to give your brain nutrients so you can focus. So that's another one that, might seem like it's a lot of work, but it's one of those you can kind of prepare it on the go, come back to it like 20 minutes later, and it's there. It's done. Chunky monkey smoothie. So, I kind of, again, very specific about it because it's got bananas, it's got peanut butter. You can add other seeds, you can add other nuts, you can add spinach to it to make it, a little bit more kind of nutritious. You don't have to, but that would be kind of, some ideas of what to do with nuts and seeds. Okay. All right, moving on. Not sure how we're doing on time. Oh, I've already run out of time here. Okay, so we'll do these really quick. So moving on, Greek yogurt, right? You can do just plain Greek yogurt. Again, choose full fat, or you could load it up with berries and hemp seeds. You can go tropical, add bananas, coconut, honey. You can add trail mix to it, or you can make a smoothie, which would be your next level. It just needs a little bit of extra effort. Beans and lentils. If you have cooked beans that are left over, throw those on crackers, or throw them on toast. I've done this before, even with leftover dal or lentils. If you have store-bought hummus, that makes things a lot easier. But you can also just like open a can of beans, mash it on toast, obviously drain it, mash it on toast, add a bit of salt, pepper, and lemon. It's not the same thing as hummus, but it's close, right? So it's a bit of a hack if you wanted to do this quickly. The next level, you could make your own hummus. You could throw it into a wrap with veggies and avocado. This is something I've been doing a lot of lately. I've been cooking my eggs and leftover beans. Again, it's something you can kind of throw on the stove walk away, come back to it 5 minutes later, and it's done. So it's like breakfast more than a snack, but it's just an idea. This one, I don't know if any of you get squeamish when you hear about wild fish, but I love sardines, and they are extremely, extremely nutritious, full of calcium, good fats, good protein. And so, for example, if you have tin sardines at home, easiest thing, open it, eat it plain. The next level, put it on toast, add a bit of lemon. Next level, you can do smoked salmon similarly, or mackerel plain, or put it on toast. But then next level, you can put them in wraps with stuff like cheese and spinach. You can make a little salad if you have the time. Or, you can take the tin sardines or the smoked fish, mash it with some Greek yogurt, keep that in your fridge, put it on crackers when you get hungry. That's a really simple, low stress snack that can just stay in your fridge for a week, and that you can enjoy. Okay, I think this is my final one. So olives are super easy. If you've got, if you go and buy them, they're really good and rich in fats. So they'll give you that satiety, not necessarily on the protein side of it. You can throw it on avocado and toast with some hemp seeds. That would taste really good. Keep boiled eggs in your fridge. Obviously, cooking eggs any other way is going to take a little bit of time. But, if you just had boiled eggs, you can eat them plain. You can put them on toast. Beef jerky. It's not something that a lot of people talk about, but, Epic has a good brand. Epic is a good brand. It doesn't have a lot of the, kind of the preservatives that you kind of associate with jerky. And they have a lot of different types of jerky. I've never tasted it, but I hear it's good. So that would be another really good thing to keep handy. Cheese and crackers, always a lifesaver, always. Especially if you've got a nice cheddar or something like that, you can just quickly chop it up and have it on toast or crackers. And then next level, you can kind of make your own olive tapenade. There's various recipes out there. I like to throw pumpkin seeds or other seeds in there to kind of amp up the fats. You can make egg muffins, just, keep them handy. Shredded rotisserie chicken, like that's a really simple one. If you buy a chicken and just shred it, keep it in your fridge. I love that because then you can just throw it on toast with some avocado, or you can throw it into wraps. And it's just a really, really simple snack to have when you're just, running around and you need some fuel. All right, so here's a snack shopping list. What I would do, if you can, is take a photo of this. And then basically, I've got the animal products on one side and then the plant products on the other side. But these are things to kind of, there's a few things in here that are perishable, like I would say Greek yogurt, eggs, and then the cheeses. But, and then chicken and the turkey slices would be perishable. But for the most part, everything else, your avocados are perishable, but everything else otherwise is something that's shelf stable or you can keep for a while. You just have to remember it's there. I feel like sometimes when you're stressed, you're like, you could have a fridge full of food and not want to touch it because you just don't have the time. So part of this is to give you ideas, but also part of it is to encourage you to just take the 5 minutes and get the food that you need, because it will save you, for the day. It'll save you for the next few hours, and hopefully give you some strength to kind of work with whatever life is throwing at you next. So that was sort of the end of the kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. But if you need more ideas, connect with me on Instagram. I'm always kind of posting about different tips and tricks that I've learned. You can visit my blog, mukscooks.com/blog. You can buy my Reset cookbook, which has 7 smoothies, 7 salads, 7 soups, and a few other little tips and tricks, for snacks. And if you buy it, you can get $20 off my nutrition packages, valid through the end of January. Sorry, that should say 2024. I can I can change that. I'm going back in time. But yeah, so that's a little offer there. If you buy my cookbook, you can just save the receipt and send it to me. And then here's where to find me in general, but I'm also going to have a class on December 5th. If you want to learn more about blood sugar basics, the best way to kind of stay connected with me on that is on Instagram. And you'll get all the info you need for that. All right.
Thank you, Mukta. That was
Yeah.
so helpful and such a great reminder for the work that we did together. Just a refresher on some of the things that I can be reminding myself of, because I go back into those routines of doing the same things over and over. So thank you for that. Kim, any thoughts you have or questions you want to throw out to Mukta while we have her?
Well, I was just that was just great. First of all, thank you. That was wonderful. Yeah, I was just, as I was listening, I was thinking, I snack all day long, but it's like it's so much cereal, like all the time cereal. And I try to throw nuts in it to make it a little healthier, but mostly it's just familiar and it feels fast. But I'm looking at your list and there's so many other just as fast options. And I'm even bored. Sometimes I'll be like, I don't even want to eat this right now. I just know I need to eat something. So I just do it. So it's great to have other options, but I don't know anything about hemp seeds or hemp hearts or anything.
So usually you'll find them as hemp hearts, but they're from the hemp plant.
Okay.
And they're super nutritious. They've got a lot of omega-3 fats in them.
Okay.
So extremely good from a fat perspective, but also from a protein perspective. So I want to say like 1 tablespoon has like, I hope I'm not making this up, like maybe like 3 grams of protein. So it's actually pretty rich in protein compared to some of the other seeds. So chia seeds are also good and like rich in protein, but hemp seeds just have a little bit more. So the thing is, they don't have any flavor, which is kind of nice. And yeah, and if you throw them in a salad, like you might know that they're there, but you won't. They're very like, they almost like melt in your mouth in some ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're uneventful.
They're completely uneventful.
That's fine.
Yeah. So you can throw them into anything and you won't know that they're there. Yeah.
And then nutritional yeast was sort of a recent discovery. I'm like a couple years ago, and I'm a vegetarian, but I eat dairy and eggs. But we put nutritional yeast in. I mean, I put it in everything. It's so good. I was like, I hope this is actually good for me because it's really good.
It is. So it's full of B vitamins, which you need for energy production. So that's really helpful, and it also has protein in it. But yeah, I glossed over it because it's not really like a yeast. It's deactivated yeast. And so, if you have issues digesting yeast, this won't eat that sort of thing. But like, as you know, it's got that savory, cheesy flavor. So I use it in I throw it in my eggs, but I also use it if I'm making like a dairy-free pasta, because we don't use a lot of dairy at home. And so I will often make pasta sauces using cashew nuts, and then I might still use cheese, like I might still add a little bit of cheese, but the bulk of the flavor is coming from the nutritional yeast, and the cheese is just adding the little extra melty bit.
Yeah. So that sounds great.
One of the just a quick point, a snack that I started eating that where I added hemp seeds, which was really helpful, is just getting Greek yogurt and putting some granola on top. And then what Mukta shared with me is just sprinkle some hemp seeds on top of it. And it's super easy. Again, I don't taste them, but it adds to the level of protein, which is always my challenge.
No, me too.
So
I'll have to get some. That's great.
Yeah, even in smoothies, like, if you're trying to decide, do I want to get a protein powder, which I don't always recommend protein powders because they're not always, it's hard to find a good quality one, and they're often really expensive. And so I always recommend starting with like something like hemp hearts or hemp seeds, because you're getting the full food. You know, you're getting the benefits of the whole food rather than like a bunch of amino acids thrown together in this protein
Yeah.
powder.
Oh,
So
that's really helpful, because
Yeah.
I went through the protein powder thing this summer because I run a lot, so I've been
yeah.
trying to eat a lot more protein after I run to help with that. And I noticed a huge difference just from that. But the protein powders, like you said, they're so expensive, and it was like a giant thing with like all this trash, like half full, and then I was throwing away this giant container. Like I
Yeah.
didn't like any of it, and it didn't taste very good. So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm excited to try the hemp. That seems like it'll be a good addition for our family.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Well,
Well,
thank you
thank
for all the
you.
questions.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
and thanks for being here. And Mukta, thank you so much for taking the time, and we will continue to talk about, you know, where we can share this so that other people have the benefit of it too. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. Have a
Thank you. It
great,
was really nice to meet you.
Thank
yeah,
you. Yeah, thank you, Kim. You too. And have a lovely one. And thank you so much, Carla, for inviting me to share with your community. This has been
absolutely.
lovely.
Thanks for being here, and have a good rest of the week.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.